We are continuing our Marvel Marathon Madness with 2014 X-Men Days of Future Past, the seventh installment in the X-Men film series, as well as the sequel to The Last Stand, First Class, and The Wolverine. Now, the plot of this film, which was based on the excellent 1981 Uncanny X-Men storyline, Days of Future Past by Chris Claremont and John Byrne, is set in two time periods, with Logan traveling back in time from a terrifying 2023 future overrun by murderous machines to 1973 in order to change history and prevent a pivotal event that results in unspeakable destruction for both humans and mutants alike. Now, to note one thing, I am covering the theatrical release as most viewers are aware of that version, but I will also provide the differences incorporated by the Road Cut, seeing as it does add substantial details and an overall 17 minutes of extra footage. So, let us go ahead and jump straight into the plot. In a dystopian 2023, enormous robotic assassins named Sentinels hunt and kill mutants as well as humans who either possess the genetic potential to have mutant offsprings or even try to protect mutants at all. In Moscow, the Sentinels attack the remaining X-Men survivors: Kitty Pryde, Colossus, Blink, Warpath, Bishop, Iceman, and Sunspot. The mutants sacrifice themselves to buy Kitty enough time to send Bishop's consciousness a few days back into the past to warn the others of the upcoming attack and ensure their survival. Having averted the attack, the group retreats to a remote Chinese temple and are joined by Storm, Wolverine, Charles Xavier, and Eric Lancher. Xavier explains that the Sentinels were originally conceived by Bolivar Trask, a weapons designer whom Raven, aka Mystique, assassinated back in 1973. In response to that, the government captured Raven and experimented on her using her DNA to create the Sentinels who are capable of adapting to any mutant power. Xavier plans to go back in time to 1973 and prevent Trask from being assassinated in the hopes of altering the future. However, upon learning that time traveling too far would kill Charles, Wolverine volunteers instead, as his healing abilities would allow him to survive. Awakening in 1973, Wolverine goes to the X-Mansion, learning from Hank McCoy that the school has been closed for years due to the Vietnam War, and Eric Lancher has been imprisoned for assassinating JFK. A young and emotionally broken Xavier turns to alcoholism and frequently uses a serum that allows him to walk, but at the cost of his telepathic abilities. Hoping to reunite with Raven, Xavier agrees to help Wolverine. They recruit Quicksilver, a mutant with superhuman speed, and break Eric out of the Pentagon facility in an awesome scene. Raven discovers Trask has been experimenting on mutants and plots to assassinate him at the Paris Peace Accords, but Xavier, McCoy, and Logan foil her attempt. Eric then attempts to kill Raven, believing that this would change the future. McCoy fights him off and allows Raven to escape, but publicly exposing them as mutants. Trask then takes advantage of this and convinces President Nixon to authorize the Sentinel program. Eric retrieves his helmet and secretly takes control of Trask's Sentinel prototypes by infusing them with steel. Returning to the X-Mansion, Xavier abandons the serum and, by reading Logan's mind, can actually communicate with his future self, who inspires him to protect the future between mutants and humans. After Xavier uses his mutant tracking computer Cerebro to find Raven, he, McCoy, and Logan travel to Washington, D.C. to stop her from assassinating Trask. At a ceremony where Nixon unveils the Sentinels, the three search for Raven. Magneto then appears, activates the Sentinels, and barricades the White House by using a stadium. During the battle, Eric impales Logan with rebar and throws him into the Potomac River. Nixon, Trask, and a disguised Raven retreat to the White House bunker. However, Lancher rips the bunker out of the building to kill everyone inside. In 2023, in the meantime during that, the X-Men make their last stand as an onslaught of Sentinels attacks the temple. Many mutants perish while trying to buy more time. Back in 1973, Raven reveals herself and subdues Eric with a plastic gun, saving Nixon and his cabinet. Before she can kill Trask, Xavier telepathically convinces her to spare him, leading the public to realize that a mutant actually saved the president. As a result, the Sentinel program is decommissioned, altering the timeline and erasing the dark future of 2023 from history. The mutants in the past then depart amicably. Trask is later arrested for selling military secrets to foreign governments. Wolverine then reawakens in 2023 at the X-Mansion to find that Xavier's school is thriving and the X-Men are all alive, including Rogue, Jean Grey, and Scott Summers. Logan then asks Xavier for information about modern history from 1973 to the present. Upon realizing that the Wolverine from the original timeline has returned, Charles smiles and welcomes him back. Now, back in 1973, Logan is rescued from the Potomac River by the military, but is then thankfully taken by Raven, who has disguised herself as Major William Stryker. In a post-credit scene set in ancient Egypt, we get a sense of who will be the antagonist of the next movie, as a crowd chants En Sabanor, who telekinetically elevates rocks to build pyramids as his four horsemen observe from afar. Now, the Rogue cut, which was released on home video, brings back Anna Paquin as Rogue and gives her substantially more of an involved role in the film. The additions go as follow. When Kitty Pryde is accidentally wounded after Wolverine's consciousness experiences a phase between past and future due to seeing Stryker in 1973, Bobby Drake, aka Iceman, proposes breaking into the heavily guarded remains of Cerebro at the former X-Mansion, which is the one place where Xavier's mind cannot reach others from the outside, in order to rescue Rogue, who is being held captive there as a test subject. Xavier, Magneto, and Iceman manage to rescue Rogue, but at the cost of Iceman's life. We also get a scene in between where Mystique stops at the X-Mansion the night before the Sentinel unveiling ceremony, revisits her previous romance with Beast, and destroys Cerebro the following morning to prevent Xavier from finding her. The Sentinels then find the X-Men through a tracking device inside a Sentinel's hand that was severed and got stuck on the X-Jet during their escape from the X-Mansion. Rogue uses her power to take over for Kitty in order to keep Wolverine's mind in the past, at least for the remaining time until the moment history is changed, with a suggestion that Wolverine is aware of the switch as he appears to feel Rogue's presence. A new added mid-credit scene shows Bolivar Trask jailed at Magneto's former prison cell beneath the Pentagon for selling military secrets to foreign countries. Now, aside from the Deadpool series of movies, Days of Future Past went on to become the highest grossing X-Men film ever, earning a total of $747 million worldwide, as well as being nominated and earning an incredible number of awards, and rightly so, as this film was fantastic. From the phenomenal casting to the writing and production, as well as the amazing incorporation of a classic X-Men comic book storyline, this film hits every note on another level. I found this X-Men installment to be as good as X2, maybe actually even better. To be able to pack so much emotion along with so much amazing action and excellent effects was a monumental achievement in my opinion. And the seamless transitions between the past and the future was incorporated so well, I just loved it all. The fabulous combination of both the original X-Men cast and the cast of First Class was outstanding. Each actor and actress complementing their counterparts so well as highlighting the overall team altogether. Also, the addition of Evan Peters as Quicksilver was just sublime. He portrayed that character so perfectly that I wanted another 10 scenes of him just zipping around while an awesome soundtrack is playing in the background. Overall, it is an adventure really unlike any other, and it keeps you enthralled throughout the entire length of the film. And that is why I am giving it a 9 out of 10. Now, the next film I will cover will be 2016 X-Men Apocalypse, and following that will be 2017 Logan. So stay tuned, and please do consider hitting the like button and subscribing. I would truly appreciate it. I am really looking forward to continue building this growing community. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for spending your time with me. Until our next adventure, y'all stay classy.